The Nintendo and the Super Nintendo were ones that we played growing up all the time because my grandparents had both of the consoles in their basement.
Oh,
And
really?
so, yes. And so
Welcome in today, Rambling Gamers. We have an amazing guest today, Mel, aka ACNH Barkanos on Instagram, also on YouTube. And today we're gonna get to know her a little better and discuss her life with gaming and content creation, and how she got into Animal Crossing and other games she might play and enjoy. Mel, welcome in. How are you doing today?
hello. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for
Good.
having me. Excited to be
Good.
here.
So one thing I loved doing and talking when I interview people is learning your early life, and did you play games, and if you did, kind of explain,
Right.
family or friends, did they play, and maybe your first game
Yeah,
memory.
absolutely. Yeah, I was always a gamer. I feel like growing up, I very vividly remember being like 7 or 8,
Mm,
and my dad had like a super old, PC, right? It was
mm.
just like this big boxy thing. And he played the original Doom from the
Oh
90s
wow.
on the PC. And I was always fascinated by it, right? I just always thought it was super cool. And it's probably something like a little 7-year-old kid probably shouldn't have been playing, but he would let me play against my mom's wishes. And I think that's just like, I have such a memory of that. And that just is kind of my start to gaming. And we did a lot of gaming with friends as well. Like there was several neighborhood kids that had different gaming consoles. I remember the Sega Genesis was one. I'm dating myself a little. Like the Sonic the Hedgehog and all of those games back then. I always thought that was super fun to play. And then, of course, my first actual console was the original Nintendo,
Oh,
like the very first one. So,
those
yeah.
sounded like you started out as a PC gamer,
Yeah.
and
Right?
I mean Doom. I think I remember that as well. I would go to my friend's house and he had
Yeah.
that on his computer. He would play all the
Right.
time.
And the graphics were terrible.
They I remember like some games I would just be like, oh, this is a fun game, and Doom I remember being like, these graphics aren't good, but it's fun
Right.
shooting aliens.
Right. Like for whatever reason, it was still fun. It looked terrible, but at the time it was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, there wasn't anything else like it. So you liked it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I
um
think ultimately too, my favorite Nintendo like game that I always remember playing as a kid was Mario Brothers, like I think Mario Brothers 3
yep.
and the original Mario Kart 2. Those were like my top games for
Yeah, and
sure.
I think Mario 3 is where they introduced a Tanuki suit where you could fly. Is that
Yes.
the one? Yeah.
Yes. I think that's what got me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like you just wanted to dress up as the cute little
Yeah.
Tanuki.
I loved it because I could just I would try to try to keep it as long as possible and try to fly
Yeah.
over as many levels
Yeah.
as I could. Um,
Exactly. Yeah. And find all the little secrets. There was like little secrets when you would fly
mm-hmm.
up and find
Yep.
them in there.
And I think it
So,
was
yeah.
the second or the third level, or if you like ducked on like the white box, you would go behind the level. Do you remember that? You would have
Yes, I
to,
remember
and you
that.
get the chest for like the flute or whatever it was.
Right? I need to go back now that they have all these games on the Switch and
I
like play them again. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Because that's like it's such nostalgia and be like, okay, what do I remember? Do I remember this secret? Do I remember this level? Like it'd
Hmm.
be fun to try it again to see what I remember.
I'll tell you that I recently played Mario Bros. 3. I think it was during the pandemic, or like
Did you? Yeah.
right around that time, whenever they added it, and I was just like, oh, let me play. And the game is hard. Like if you haven't played in a
Yeah,
while,
right?
it's not it's not easy. I'm thinking today where it's like, oh, you die, you come back, and
Yeah,
back then it was like, no, it's game over, and you're gonna start the whole world again.
that's right. Yes. Oh, it's so true. Yeah, it was hard. You're
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, especially I think like once you get to like world 8 or whatever it was, there was like certain like higher worlds that you would
Mm-hmm.
get to that were just really
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
So,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. I know. And when I was playing it, now I'm in my 30s, and I'm just like, geez, 8-year-old version of me did so much better than me now, just because I played
I
it all the
know.
time.
That's true. Yeah, I know. Like the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo were ones that we played growing up all the time because my grandparents had both of the consoles in their basement.
Oh,
And
really?
so, yes. And so whenever we went to the grandparents' house, it was the best time ever because we get to go play the games, especially like if all the cousins were there for the holidays or whatever. It was always a bunch of Mario Kart races and battles on the Nintendo downstairs. So, yeah, it was super fun.
What? That's different. For me, my grandma, we'd always play Monopoly. There was no video games. It was you're gonna
Oh,
come over and play Monopoly. And grandma always
really?
won somehow, but
That's fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my grandma loved card games too. That was another fun
oh
one
yeah,
for
no
her.
card games.
Yeah. Those were always good. But yeah, they spoiled us with the video games in the basement for sure.
Are So did you guys like? Did you keep gaming throughout like childhood to young
Oh
adult,
yeah.
like 64 and the
Yep. Yep.
GameCube? Okay.
Yep, all of them, all the above. Yeah, honestly, I think 64, the Nintendo 64 is probably my favorite. I think, I don't know if it was just like the console itself, like I loved all the different colors and I just thought that was the coolest thing back
Mhm.
then. And I remember too, I think it was the Majora's Mask
Yep.
on the 64. That was like my favorite
Yeah.
of like I played that so many times. Like I loved that game.
I feel like for people in our age, the millennial age, I feel like
Yeah.
64 felt like peak gaming just because we were all
Yeah.
around like, 10, 11, 12. They had Pokemon
Yeah.
coming out, the Zelda games, obviously Mario still coming out, but yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yep.
felt like peak. And then for me, when I got a little older, we would play the GameCube in college, played Double
Oh
Dash,
yeah.
played Double Dash.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Oh
did
my
you play
gosh.
throughout college too, or did you kind of take a break from it?
That's a good question. Um, well, I didn't go to like four-year college. I took a break after high school and then I went to vet tech school like a year or two later. But I did, yeah, I continued actually playing a lot of PC games
Oh,
kind of
really?
in
Okay.
during that time. Yeah.
So did you play The
A lot of first
Sims?
person shooters.
Oh, oh,
I yeah, more first person shooters. I played
okay.
Sims a little bit.
Mhm.
Definitely growing up, I remember playing Sims. And I remember like the one thing I remember from Sims growing up was the cheat codes. Like
Mhm.
that I thought that was the fun thing back then. You know, you're
Motherload,
like you yes,
Rosebud.
mother load. Yeah, you type
Mhm.
in like, "Oh, I have all this money now. I can do whatever I want."
Yep.
That was my favorite.
Yep. I'm just like, yep.
Um
Give me all the money and let me build whatever I want.
I don't want to play the game like it's supposed to be played. That's no
I
fun.
think I played it. I would say once, The Sims One, like the
Mm,
correct way, where I'm just like, I'm gonna
did
work for my
you?
money, and then I think I learned to cheat after I did that. And I was all
Yeah.
right, no more
Game
working
changer.
and becoming an astronaut. I'm just gonna let my Sims eat
Right?
salads all day because they're gonna burn the house down if they make anything like a grilled cheese. Um,
Oh, oh my God. Did you play Coaster Tycoon
I
at all?
did. A lot of people
A little bit.
think that I should have been into it more. I played it a little bit, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
Is that something you were into?
Yeah, I really liked that one. Actually, I feel like besides from Sims, I feel like Roller Coaster was kind of like my first designish game. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Because you get to just build your whole park, and
Right.
I just had I thought it was really cool to build your roller coasters and stuff. So yeah, that
Well,
one was fun.
it's funny for me because my parents were split, but at my mom's house I play Sims, but my dad's house had Roller Coaster Tycoon. So
Really?
yeah, but my
You got
dad
them split up,
he had them split up. My dad had like the remember do you remember Gateway, those computers? They always had like the cow
Yes.
commercials.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
that just popped in my head just randomly, but I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we had a gateway. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, I remember. Oh my gosh. And like the computers were so big back then, right? You
I mean,
know,
just like the
just the and
TVs.
the monitors. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the TVs. Oh, please. Oh my goodness. It was
Now,
so big.
now I got three monitors and they're like this thin. It's like,
I know. We have so many TVs and monitors in the house. It's ridiculous.
you
Yeah.
can't, I remember growing up. It's like if you had two TVs, it's like, whoa, hold up, wait a minute, you guys
Yes.
got money.
I Oh yeah, I still remember too going to a friend's house. And I remember this so specifically because it was such a big movie at the time, but Twister, do you remember
Mhm.
that movie, the
Oh,
tornado movie?
yep.
Yeah, and so I watched it for the first time at a friend's house, and they had one of, like, the first big flat screen TVs, but it wasn't a flat screen TV, it was, like, one of those big box ones,
Yeah.
right? Like, that literally took up
Mhm.
the entire
It was a
living
piece of
room.
furniture back then.
Oh my gosh, yeah, but it was so cool because it was, like, massive screen, and you
Mhm.
gotta watch the big, cinematic movie, and yeah, I remember that, it was cool.
I remember just because of Twister, because I think that was mid-90s, right around there, but I
Yeah.
remember I went to Universal after the movie came out, like, a couple years, and we went to the ride.
Yeah.
I remember,
Yeah, oh,
like
I never got to do that, was it crazy?
yeah,
You
I
remember
think I
it?
got scared of it. I didn't like rides
Oh.
when I was a kid. Now I've been on it since, and it's like, oh, it's fine. But I think like
Nice.
8-year-old version.
Yeah,
What's going
no, when you're
on?
that little, you're like, "Oh my
I'm
gosh."
gonna get
Yeah,
hit by a
it's hard to it's
cow. I think I made it
yeah.
through, but I was just like closing my eyes, just like I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Oh, no. I
Um,
admit that I still close my eyes on rides
oh,
sometimes as an adult. Like, we went to, Disneyland, several years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, but yeah, I remember closing my eyes on a couple of the rides, like, "I can't do this, I can't do this." But, it's okay.
oh yeah, you guys have Disneyland over on the West Coast. We have Disney World
Yeah,
in Florida.
yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Disneyland just to see the difference or how much of a difference it is. But
I've heard Disney World is better, it's bigger, I believe.
yeah, I think
But
there's
yeah.
more kingdoms. I think not
Yeah, yeah, I think
100%
so.
sure,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
went
But
2017. Went like my
nice,
core family, brothers and sisters. We went.
nice.
It's fun as an adult,
Right?
because you can drink and walk around.
Yeah,
It's still
exactly, and
fun.
yeah, I agree, it's 100%. We had a blast, it was super fun.
Oh man, I need to start talking Disney more with everybody.
I
Um,
know, right? You could talk about Disney all the time.
well, I guess moving on from early
Yeah.
game, obviously you've continued it. Oh, one question I did want to ask was
Yeah.
you mentioned first person shooters. What first person
Mhm.
shooter games?
Right now, like, the biggest one that I play is Destiny. Destiny
Oh,
2.
is that good?
Oh, it's so good.
Now
Yeah,
is
it's
that you play that on PC or is that like on PlayStation or Xbox?
you can play it on all consoles, including PC. I play it on PlayStation 5.
Okay, I just got
So
one, so
yeah,
it's
yeah, you gotta play it.
it's like when I put it next to the Switch and I was just like, it looks like two different worlds
Oh
of
my
gaming.
gosh.
You know?
Isn't it
It-
crazy? I know. The PS5 is literally a mini PC, I feel
yeah,
like, It's so powerful, but yeah, it's super cool.
but
Good.
I
That's
do
awesome.
want to get into Destiny, and I've also never played Red Dead Redemption 2, so I want to
Oh,
play that.
yeah.
So I heard that's really
Yeah. My husband played that. I haven't played that one, but I liked watching it. There's, like, certain games that I like to watch people play versus me playing myself, you know
right.
what I mean?
No, I've
Like,
done
I've
that.
watched him play yeah, I've watched him play The Last of Us, but that's not one I'll actually play myself.
Are you
It's too
watching the
scary for
show?
me. I am. I'm watching the show, though.
I haven't started. I know the game, I know the story, but
Yeah.
I like binging things. Oh, it sounds like so
Yeah.
like first world of me, but I'm just like I just rather like one weekend just get through all of them.
I feel that. I know. I'm so used to binging shows.
Mhm.
It's really difficult when, you only get one a week, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, come on, I want to know what's going to happen next.
It is kind of nice, but the last show I ever did that
Yeah.
with was Walking Dead. Just like
Oh yeah.
waiting
I
every week
never,
for the
I never
show.
watched that. Yeah, I never watched The Walking Dead. I
I
feel like that was too scary for me. I almost didn't watch The Last of Us because I don't do scary.
Mhm.
Like, that's just not my thing.
Right.
But I know the story from the game.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta watch it because the
Right.
story is just so good.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
remember
they've
when it came out, it was like this is the future of gaming. Every game's gonna feel like a movie, and I feel like since then it hasn't really met that peak. Like there were some really good
yeah,
games, but I feel like at that point people are like, oh, every game is gonna be like a
right.
blockbuster, but it's not realistic.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so I guess we can switch over to some content creation and how you got into that,
Yeah,
and other
sure.
than Last of Us and Destiny, we also play Animal Crossing, believe it or not.
Right.
So
Right.
how did you
Vastly
tell
different.
me the story of how you got into Animal Crossing on Instagram? What made you join and kind of
Yeah, for
path of that?
sure. So I don't remember how I heard about Animal Crossing. I think um I think I just remember like seeing a commercial maybe. I don't even know about the game. And of course it was right at the start of the pandemic.
Hmm.
And so I was like, oh man. And at that time I had already left my old career and I was going to school full time, but it was all online. So I was doing everything from home. I was like, I need a game to play. I need something to do, right? Like at that time, I was really only maybe playing a little bit of Destiny. I hadn't really played a whole lot of anything else. So I was like, let's try Animal Crossing. And I remember getting it.
Hmm.
And it was, of course, I was instantly invested. And, back then when I first got the game, I played it the way the game is normally
Meant to
played,
be.
no time travel, none of that. I had no idea. I knew of Animal Crossing because I very briefly played New Leaf, but I hadn't played any of the other games. So it was kind of new to me. It was pretty new to me. And both of my sisters actually got the game as well. And we thought it was really cool because we could visit each other's islands and spend time together without, because we couldn't see each other during the start of the pandemic. And so, yeah, so that's kind of how I got started with Animal Crossing. And then I didn't join the community right away. I joined in I think it was August of 2020. So it was a little bit later. And I just remember, I think I first found Animal Crossing Twitter because I was trying to find things to because I needed items,
Needed
right? And
items,
I didn't
yeah.
know how to do any of that back then. And so I was like, oh, there's people doing contests for free items and Nook Miles tickets and all
Hmm.
sorts of stuff on Twitter. So that's how I found that community. And then I learned about the Instagram community as well. And I saw that people were sharing their builds. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is super cool. I want people to see my island
Yeah.
too. So that's kind of what got me started in joining.
Oh, now, do you remember your first play date that you had, or inviting someone over that you may not have
Yeah.
known, like in real life?
Oh, yeah. So I think my sister and I actually would do garage sales, we call them. So we would put all of our items that we didn't want in we would wrap them in gift bags. And then we would just open our island and let people come
Let
over
people
and
take
pick
random
up
things.
stuff. Yeah.
Uh,
And so that was kind of like a play date, really. For us, that was my first kind of exposure to having people visit that I didn't know. But visiting other friends from the Instagram community, that didn't happen for quite a while. It took me a while to build up, some close friends in the community, and start to do the play dates and stuff. I think probably the first play date was to visit for the shooting stars and do the wishing
oh,
on the stars,
yeah,
which
that
was
was a big
really
one. That was
fun.
a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
liked that a lot.
I did that with a few friends, and then we started doing it. Like one of our friends, like none of
Yeah.
us were time traveling at the time, but she had like
Right.
Celeste come every week. It was like she was the shooting star island. So we go over and we started like we had outfits. We'd all wear little star hats.
Yeah.
We'd like, all right, star night. And for me, it was during the pandemic, but she was in Europe. A couple
Oh
of them
yeah.
were over there, so it was nighttime for them, but it was like 2 p.m. for me. So I was like, "Oh, this is
Right.
perfect." I have no
Yeah.
life right now anyway, so let's go. Let's flying over. And my better half, she was working all day, and I wasn't working, so
Mm,
she's working, and then
yeah.
she comes out, and I'm wearing a star hat on the TV, and random people like, "How's your day going?" Well, pretty productive. I got some star fragments coming in tomorrow. Looking forward to that, and
Yeah, I got the Star Wand DIY from Celeste, right?
it was simple
Oh, that's
times back then.
amazing.
It was so good.
I know, I know. It was same, cause yeah, my husband, he was working and
Mhm.
away from the house, and he'd come home, he'd be like, "What did you do today?" I'd be like, "Well,
I got the custom
I
paths.
yeah, I did this. Oh my gosh, do you wanna see this?" I would show him my
Hmm.
island all the time, and, he could care less about Animal Crossing, but he'd be like, "That's great, babe. Oh, great, great build." He was always, supporting, but he could care less about the game.
Oh, man. To me, it's like a good analogy would be when you're a kid and you're telling your parent, like, I made this face, this finger paint today. And it's like, wow, it's a cat, but like, no, it's a bird. And it's like, okay, yeah.
Oh my god, that was it. Oh my goodness, it's so true. Oh my goodness. There'd be a couple times I would ask him, I'd be like, "Can you tell what this build is?" Just to get a feel of if he could figure it out.
Hmm.
And not usually.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I tried to make, some stuff, X, Y, and Z." And he's like, "Oh, sure. Okay, I guess I see it." I don't know.
So did your Instagram content just start out basically just sharing builds then? Is that how that kind of
Yeah.
was born?
Yeah, that's
Um,
exactly what it was. Yeah, I just had wanted to, start sharing some stuff because I just, was like, I'm doing all this work and,
right,
I'm the only one seeing it.
right.
And I was like, I really want to share and just kind of see what's out there. So yeah,
You want to find
that
other
was the
people
whole
that
purpose.
like it, can enjoy it, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Exactly. And I had no idea that the community was as big as it was and it continues to be
It's
so
still
big.
like I'm impressed with how many
Yeah.
people still play and even
Mhm.
watch me when I stream it because I feel like sometimes I'm a noob doing things like it. It's also cozy,
There's something
you know?
it is. There's something just so fun about watching people play Animal Crossing. I mean, even if you're just running around your island, it's still entertaining. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but it is.
To me, it's the music. It's just whenever I hear the music,
Yeah.
I'm just like, feels good.
Yeah. It puts you in a good mood,
It
right? Like
does.
it's just yeah, it's cozy and it's fun and it's great. As long as it's not the 3 a.m. music. I think it's the 3 a.m. music
Isn't
is
that
like the
like the
worst
really
music.
wonky music? It's like,
Yeah, like the womp womp music. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, that was like
Yeah.
the other day or a couple weeks ago. I had an island tour, and they didn't. I don't know how they did it, but I don't remember what it was, but they
Yeah.
didn't get the full res services yet, and not everybody in chat knew that as you progress the island, they add more instruments to the song. So it's like in the
Oh,
beginning,
wait. Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah, I see
it's
what you mean,
very
yeah.
simple.
I was
Like
like
when you like build some of the villager homes, you get the cranny, like the music gets
right.
a little more instruments
Yes.
in there, and then when you finally finish,
Yes.
it's like here's the music.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. Yeah, no, that's cool. I
and
know,
I
I like those little details in the game.
yeah, that's the stuff that makes it fun, you know. And sometimes you
Yeah.
still find new things. It's like, oh, I didn't know this, you know. Um,
I am always finding out something new about Animal Crossing, even to this day,
well, to me,
honestly.
sometimes it's just the creativity of the builds. You know, like when I
Mm,
first saw people using bunk beds, I was like, what? Like,
yes. Oh my goodness. I know. Yeah, like bunk beds to use for, like, the roofing or
hmm
whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that people have used items that
right.
are just mind-blowing,
Yeah, I
honestly.
think my favorite still to this day is seeing like the simple panels and a bookcase
Yep.
behind it. I don't know why. That's like my favorite.
Yep.
I don't know why, but that's one of my favorite
'Cause it
styles.
just looks so it looks so good, right? It really
hmm
looks like a building, and
Yeah.
you can make it look so cool. Yeah, I always thought that was great.
And then Nintendo
Super
was
smart.
like, "Here's some castle items for you, beans." And
I know.
so I know you started and you did it for a little while. You streamed on Twitch, and I
Yeah,
guess I want to know a little bit about you know, how you started that. And I know you do more YouTube now, and you stick with Instagram, and maybe
yeah,
why you made that switch, or is it easier and
yeah,
all that fun stuff.
for sure. Yeah, so I did streaming on Twitch for almost a year. And I think at the time too, for me, it was just something else to do because I wasn't working yet. I was still finishing up my schooling and doing all of that. So I was like, okay, how can I connect with more people and, share my builds and like my process even more? I think that was kind of what I really wanted to do was kind of share my process of my building because with Instagram it's like you just see the finished product. You don't get to really see, the whole process. So I really wanted to kind of share that with people and for me too, it was really just about connecting. Like I really wanted to gain more friendships and know more people in the community. And so, yes, which of course I definitely did. I mean, obviously, through streaming, I was able to meet so many people that I'm still in touch with today, and it's great. So, and then as far as kind of making the decision to not stream and kind of switch over to YouTube, it really kind of stemmed from once I got my job. You know, I finished school and I was going to be working from home full time. And for me, I didn't want to have to sit at the desk right here, 40 hours a week, and then also find the time to stream here as well. I was
Yeah.
like, I just don't know how to do that. And then also, of course, have time for family and my pets and all that kind of stuff. So, and then I just thought that, I can still share my process on YouTube, but I can do it on my time, kind of get that. Yeah, I can plan something and, make a build, make a video, and then just kind of do it on my time and not have to worry about being live on a set schedule kind of thing. So, yeah, which I've kind of gotten away from the YouTube a little bit as well because it does take a lot of time to edit and, make videos and all that kind of stuff too. So,
It does. It does. And it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little more rewarding just posting a reel, on Instagram or something on TikTok, which is like, oh, it's a 60-second clip or whatever, and
Yeah.
building or a
Yeah.
funny moment.
Right. Right.
Like
So it's
that,
a lot quicker.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that trend everybody did, the not everything could be an album cover.
I know. I
That was
know.
like,
I didn't do that one. That one looked
yeah,
fun.
I feel like I missed it now. Maybe I probably still. Now it's the one with what is, I don't even know the movie, but I've seen it probably for the last 2 weeks straight. It's the one with
The Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage
Cage
and
and Pedro
yep.
Pascal. I don't even know what this is, what it's from. I
I
want to
don't
watch it. I
either.
don't even. I laugh.
Oh,
The other day I was on
me too.
TikTok and the first 5 videos were just different variations of it. I'm just like, well, this is my life now.
I know. And the song is just stuck in my head. That's the
Yeah.
thing with like the reels and the
Hmm.
TikToks is that when you get the trending videos and the trending audios, I will get a song stuck in my head for weeks after watching those reels, I
Yep.
swear.
Right now it's in
Too
my head
funny.
right now.
Yep, I can hear it, right? It's just going and I can see it. Like there's Nicolas Cage and then Pedro Pascal's
Mhm.
giant grin.
Giant grin. I know. It's really we should just make an Animal Crossing version of it, but use our characters. We'll make one look like Pedro Pascal. Looks like
There you go. I like it. That would be good. Be a good one.
So do you have how do you get inspiration for the content that you create for reels
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, so a lot of times for the reels, for me, it's definitely just scrolling Instagram, right?
Mhm.
Like you see a reel and I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. I could probably recreate that in Animal Crossing." That's where most of my reel kind of like thoughts come from. I have so many saved audios and saved reels of like, "Oh man, maybe I could do this or I could, switch it up." And so that's where a lot of that inspiration comes from. For like actual Animal Crossing builds and things, I do get Pinterest is kind of like my big one. I like to save stuff on
Yeah.
Pinterest of real life photos. If I want to build, like an English garden or something, I'll find like real, like in life photos of it and I'll save a bunch of those. Be like, ooh, what could I use that looks similar in Animal Crossing and kind of use those as my inspo. That helps a lot.
Right. No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I feel that. And so
Yeah.
I only did it once where like I took a real life TikTok and put in Animal Crossing was the Justin Bieber one with the guy with the drone. You remember
Oh,
that one?
yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did a
Yeah.
version of that, and I had the little phone, and I went to the airport.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work. I think it
Right.
took me like 2 hours to either to get it, to record it, to export it, to put it on Premiere,
Yep.
and then put it all together. And then nope, I gotta fix this a little bit. It was fun. It was fun.
I'm with you. Yeah, no, I know. I've kind of struggled with continuing the reels because they are actually a lot of work,
It's,
and yeah, to get the timing right too with like the audio and all of that, it's like, oh my goodness.
that's the nice thing
But they can be
about
really fun.
doing live content is I have chat will sometimes just clip things, and I can just
Yeah,
grab it, edit it real quick,
there you
and
go.
throw it up, and I hope people find it funny.
That is true. I do like your clips from on reels from your streams. They're always
some are
good.
some are hit or miss, but my favorite recent one was the baby back hair. I
Oh, I
misread
don't know if
chat.
I saw that one. I'll have
Yeah,
to check for that
yeah,
one.
yeah. That was I've watched it 20 times myself.
I love
So
it.
what is your favorite content you like seeing for
Mm.
Animal Crossing?
Yeah, honestly, I really do prefer Animal Crossing, although, I have different Instagram accounts, right? So I have like my personal Instagram account, I have my
Mhm.
Animal Crossing account, I have maybe an Instagram for my dog and cat. But like I used to try to keep, each account like only following, that type of content on each account, right?
Mhm.
So like only on my Animal Crossing ones following Animal Crossing and like content creation, but now I just follow all sorts of things. But I also really love seeing anything animal related,
Right.
of course. Like if, dog cat reels, all of that. Those are all my favorite. I could watch those all day long.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like just because of my name and other people sharing it, I see tons of parrot stuff.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Not as much now, but definitely like for a while, it was just like, oh, here's you, Burb. It's just a parrot,
Yeah.
eating a French fry or rapping or doing some
Yeah,
random
right.
stuff.
I know.
Um,
The algorithm pulls all those like keywords. Do you
Really,
want to see
like,
parrot stuff?
absurd parrot. And when I first started actually using Instagram, I would sometimes just use parrot hashtags, and I'm just like, this probably isn't the hashtag that should be. Not
That's a good point,
actually a
right?
bird,
You're
you
like,
know?
yeah, yeah. I love it.
Well, I guess sticking with inspiration, maybe we could
Yeah,
talk about some of your island designs and how you come up with some of them. I know I just
yeah,
toured one recently.
you
Your
did.
desert themed one. Maybe we could start with that.
Yeah, sure. So that one I had been really wanting to try a tropical theme for a really long time. And desert, like, but more so tropical. Like I've always seen some really incredible tropical islands, and it's just something I had never done. And I was like, what can I do to kind of combine the two? And then I had the idea of creating like the center of the island kind of being essentially the mirage, which is like the tropical part, right?
Hmm.
And then like the whole outside of the island being the desert. And so that's where that idea kind of came from. And then I spent forever trying to find a map with resident services in the middle because I knew I wanted resident services to kind of be the center of the mirage because I just felt like it didn't fit in the desert. So I'm like, okay, I need resident services to be in the middle. And that's kind of I just kind of built it out from there. So that was kind of my thought process on
How
that
many
one.
resets did it take you? Get that res services in the center.
At least 10, which isn't that
That's not
many,
bad.
but it's still a
Not bad.
lot. It's
That's
still
not
a
bad.
lot. Nah, it's not too bad. But yeah, once I found that one, I was like, oh my gosh, it's literally perfect. It's like right there. I got lucky.
That was a fun tour. I remember that one, but it felt short because there isn't much. It's a desert.
Right. Yeah,
And I remember
exactly.
Gubs toured it just last week,
Hmm.
and that was a fun island. I've only done a couple that were like that, so it's always unique when you
Yeah.
find one. It's just like, oh, it's not meant to be cluttered. It's not meant to have a lot. It's meant to, show you the
Which was really
vastness.
hard for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so hard for me because I feel like most of my other islands, I like to fill every square
Mhm.
kind of person. Like if it doesn't have a design code, I feel like it feels empty or, if there's not an item there. So that was a struggle for me,
Right.
honestly. So I built the tropical portion first because I could fill it all up, right? And
Right.
make it feel like really lush and green and full of stuff. And then I took a break for several months.
Oh
And then
wow.
I was like, I got back into it and I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I did the whole desert thing, right? But I kept having to tell myself, okay, don't put too much stuff here. You don't need it. It's a desert. It can be wide open. It's totally okay. So yeah, that was a struggle.
But it's good that you challenge yourself. That could be
Yeah.
for anybody trying to do a different design and you feel
Yeah.
kind of discouraged about it. You can take a break.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think taking a break helped a lot because I kind of felt like I didn't have the motivation or the inspiration, I just wasn't getting anywhere. And I'm like, okay, and I took a break from Instagram
Yeah,
too.
I was
I
gonna
even
say
said I
like
was, yeah.
you took a while. Now you're like on the money with the stuff you're posting like a couple
Yeah.
times a week.
It's
And
fun. It's fun to come back for sure. I mean, I think breaks are good, right? Like you need to take time and especially with a game like Animal Crossing that we've all been playing for 3
3
years
years,
now,
yeah, coming.
like nonstop
I think
essentially.
the from the, us recording this, I think we're what like 10, 15 days from the 3 years, right?
Oh my gosh, is it
Wasn't it
really?
like
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yep.
20th? I think I don't remember
That's
exactly.
yeah, it's oh my gosh, that's crazy to think that that was 3 years ago.
I,
Wow.
I don't know if you had Animal Crossing the first day. My buddy
I did.
texted me. I
Mhm.
got it the next day. And I remember
Did
being
you?
like, "Oh man, I'm home. I'm not working right now. Do I want to spend $60 on a game?"
Yeah. Yeah. Right? For sure. No,
March
I feel
20th.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was March 20,
March
2020.
20th?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. We're coming up fast. That's crazy. I know, I think about that too, like buying the game for the first time and like you said, $60. I mean, video games are expensive nowadays, right? They really are. They are
Mhm.
so especially for the PS5. My gosh.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
And
But
especially if nowadays you can buy them digital, so it's just like can't even hold anything.
it's very true. Yeah, it kind of feels like what are you actually spending your money on? But But
I'm,
obviously, it was well worth it. I've put many, many hours into the game, so I've gotten my money's
oh,
worth.
I think a lot of people have definitely gotten their money's worth into that
Yeah,
game. I feel
yeah,
like even if they added like a 3.0 update at this point, people would still be like, all right, let's get it.
yeah,
You know, I feel like so many
yeah.
people would buy it, but
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
think
Yeah,
this
give
would
me
have been.
another DLC or
I
something,
know.
give me more items. I'll pay for it. It's fine.
Mhm. You mean underground? Like, oh, you can go underground your island. You
Oh,
can tunnel and have a cool cave
yes.
space. That would be a neat. That'd be a
Oh, that
neat.
would be
Okay.
so cool,
And
right?
you can
Like
have
go
like
like cave
you got the
exploring.
moss items, the fairy fountain. You know, you can have all these shiny. Oh man, come on, Nintendo. I know you're
Oh
listening.
man, we have so
Um,
many opportunities here.
well, actually, I know I'm going off subject from
Okay.
our outline, but did you ever play what is it called? Dinkum, the Australian.
No, I didn't. I wanted to. I don't know why I didn't play it. I think maybe because it was only on PC, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
I wanted to play, it,
Um,
but felt like the hype for it lasted about a month, and then everybody stopped.
yeah,
So
it
I
was
was
very
like,
short-lived. Yeah, for
it did
sure.
look
Yeah,
fun
no, I
though.
never played.
I watched a few streamers play it.
Yeah, me too. It did look interesting. Yeah, no, I never got into that one.
So, do you have a favorite island design that you've made so far? I don't know. How many have you
Ooh,
completed?
5.
5. I know it's like
Yeah, so
picking a favorite kid, but we need
I
we
know
need
it's so
we need a top
hard.
one.
That is tough. I mean, obviously my islands have changed so much since my original, but my original still holds such a special place for
Mhm.
me. Well, I mean, my original island is on my spicy switch. So,
Oh.
I
Oh,
never
so you were able
restarted, but I
to
saved
spice
it.
it up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, well, I saved the like full original island, right?
Mhm.
Without any updates or like anything. Like my very first, I wanted to make sure I had a original copy of like the first island because it was super important to me, right?
Right.
I spent a lot of time on there and lots of memories and all of my favorite villagers and all of that good stuff. So,
Who were
and
your
I really do I liked the design of that one too. So I think ultimately that's my favorite. But like as far as design or theme, I think the desert tropical would be my
Oh,
favorite.
okay. So the
Yeah.
most recent one.
Yeah, the most recent.
I know some people would want to know this. Who were your first ever starters?
Ooh. Okay, let's see if I can remember. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's a tough one. Who were my first starters?
Well, I'll tell you
Do
mine
you
while you're
remember
thinking.
yours? I want
Yep.
to know yours.
I
Okay.
had Biff and I had
Oh,
Phoebe. I think
Phoebe.
Phoebe, she was the bird.
She was one of mine. Yes, so that
Okay.
actually it was Phoebe and oh man. I cannot remember off top of my head, but definitely Phoebe. I know for
Well,
sure
you would have
Phoebe was one.
had a jock. So it could have been
Yeah,
Scoot, could have been Biff. Sucks.
I
Can't
can't
remember
remember.
now, but
No, dang it. I know like who most of my islanders are on that original island now, but I changed a bunch of them out, so I can't remember who like the actual like first one was.
oh, no worries. You know, maybe you'll
Yeah.
remember and you can comment on the YouTube video. What they
Okay.
were.
Sounds
Um,
good.
but I loved my starters until Phoebe started being mean to me, and like I know she was like
Oh
the sisterly,
no.
and I was just like, you know what, Phoebes. As soon as I had 10, she goes, I think I need to move, and I was like, get out of here,
Bye.
get out, bye. And I think I replaced her
Oh.
with Scoot. Actually, funny enough, I just had
Oh, really?
two jocks
I've
for
never
a
had
while.
Scoot.
Yeah, he
Oh.
was fun. He has like the underwear on his head or whatever it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Yeah, I didn't mind Phoebe. She was okay. Definitely not one I would probably have again though.
No, yeah, she was. I think when I did my Animal Crossing tier list, I think I put her at the C's. Just because.
Yeah.
So we
Who's
won't.
your top villager though?
Oh, I always have
It's
a
a whole long
top
conversation.
3.
Yeah.
Sherb, Kiki, and Henry are like my favorites
Oh, I love all of
because I
those.
grew up
Those are
having a little black cat, so I love Kiki for that. Henry is
yeah.
just like the
Henry's
quintessential
adorable.
like frog look, and
Yeah.
he's always like buongiorno and just saying
I
things like slightly
know.
wrong, and his house looks nice. He had like all
I
the
was gonna
ironwood.
say,
I was like he had a
yes,
bomb house for for
100%. I remember that. Yep. My sister had Henry on her first island, and I always loved his house. I thought it was way better than everybody else's, for sure.
and I like Sherb, and I had to get him from somebody else. I had a
Did
friend help
you?
me get
Yeah.
Sherb, and I've kept him
Nice.
since.
Nice. That's
Um,
awesome.
so we won't go into details as far as like programs and stuff, but I know some people have thought about should I make my Switch spicy, and if
Mm,
somebody doesn't know what that is, to be able to give yourself items and
yeah.
pick your villagers, and it is type of modding. So we won't get too detailed.
Yeah.
And if you want to, my Discord is in it will be in the description if you want to learn more. But as far as the process, did you find it easy, hard, and are you happy that you were able to
Yeah.
spicify your Switch?
Yes. I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie. I remember learning about it, and I mean, when you first dive into it, it's so
It's
overwhelming.
a
I
deep
don't know if you
hole.
felt the same way. Yeah. It's just like, wait, what? Like, and I'm not really like I understand computers and like programs and stuff, but I don't know that much, right?
Right.
Like so for me, like this was all like completely new and I was just like, whoa, completely overwhelmed. And I was also just terrified of ruining my Switch,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I don't know. They always said that that was a possibility that you could brick your Switch or something bad
Yeah.
would happen and I'm like, "Oh no." And but really for me, I wanted to spicify it because I wanted those wide angle photos. That was what I wanted. Like
Yeah.
that was it for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I was just like I thought that was the coolest thing ever to be able to see so much more of your build and all of that kind of stuff. And so yeah, once I finally did it, I do not regret it. I'm really glad I did. I think it was super yeah, it's super fun. I still use it to this day. Mostly for, of course, wide angle photos and to be able to give myself items, which makes building 1,000 times
It's
easier.
so quick.
So,
It's so quick.
yeah, that's
I'm,
my favorite part
I
for
mean,
sure.
you've
Yeah.
seen me play now, and I'm addicted.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could just lay patterns down.
I
Oh, I
know.
need
It's so
this,
great.
and it's so fun. It's so fun. It's
Yeah.
actually it's really fun when you mess like when you're first learning. It's like this terraforming doesn't have a wall on it. I'm
Oh
still
my
floating
gosh.
in
Yeah.
midair. I think that was my first day where I was streaming, and I was just like floating on the second tier, and I'm like, I think I have to restart the game.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of trial and error with it for
Hmm.
sure. I've made those mistakes too. And I'm like, oh, wait, that doesn't work. Let's go back, try it again. But I think having like the multiple save files is like my other favorite
Hmm.
part of it as
Yeah,
well. So that way you can
I have that
more
set up.
items.
I just haven't tested it yet. So I'm
Yeah.
just having fun,
It's a
just
little
designing.
confusing too, but
It is very confusing. But
yeah.
is it something like that's gotten easier for you over time?
Yes. Definitely. Definitely gotten easier. And I think like the updating of this, the Switch and
Hmm.
stuff, when that happens, was super confusing at first
Right,
but now it's easy for me. It's definitely gotten a lot easier.
right.
You get used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to it. I don't think there's an update yet, is there, for the new update they
Not
gave us?
recently.
Yeah, so
I
every
don't
time
think
I
so.
log on, I'm like, use software instead of update. I have to like quadruple check what I'm doing.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's been times that I've accidentally updated when I'm not supposed to, and I'm like, "Man," and then
yeah,
you have to, like, wait a while till the new
to
updated
the
stuff comes
updates.
out, and
Yeah,
it's
oh,
a pain in the butt, but
yeah, but oh man. Well, apart from being spicy, what
yeah.
other games do you play currently? I know you mentioned Destiny earlier, but are there any other
Yeah.
cozy games or shooters or anything that you're playing?
Yeah, let me think. Lots of Destiny. Um, what is the other? I like just random games. Like there's, oh my goodness, what is it called? It's called Potion something. It's on PlayStation. Oh, Potion Permit. It's kind of like a Stardew Valley kind of game.
Oh,
But you have like a town and a bunch of villagers and like all of that type of thing. And you have to save the town though by making potions and like doing all sorts of stuff. And you have to
uh,
complete puzzles to make these potions. And that's like a super fun, cozy game that I actually really like. It's just fun to play when you're not doing a whole lot, just
yeah.
need to relax and just hang out. That's a good, cozy one that I really like.
I'll
And
have to give it a look.
yeah, yeah, it's a fun one. It's actually really fun. Trying to think what else. Yeah, mostly Destiny. Destiny just came out with a new expansion, so I've been
Oh,
playing that
yeah,
quite a bit, which has been keeping me busy.
right.
So, Yeah. And
I
that's fun. That's a fun one for me too, because my husband plays and my sister plays, and her husband plays. So we all play together a lot,
Oh, that's nice.
which
You
is
get
really
something to
nice.
talk about then.
Yeah, exactly. And usually we're on comms and mic and stuff when we play
Oh,
together.
that's
So we get
fun.
to chat and all that good stuff.
Well,
So that's fun.
that's nice to get people to play with. I mean, for me, I have a couple friends that play, but
Yeah.
like as far as like my siblings go, it was only me and my brother and my
Mm.
older sister, but my younger brother and I, and he's like an adult now, and I'm the older brother, and I'm just like, you're an adult, like I'm still playing
Right.
games all the time, but
Right.
he just doesn't do it as much. He
Yeah.
doesn't like to admit
Yeah. No, I
it.
feel
But
that. Yeah, my middle sister plays quite a bit, but my youngest sister doesn't really play too much anymore.
life gets in the
Yeah.
way sometimes. You know what? That's why we
I
have this
know.
podcast to see how people do it. You know
Yes,
how they handle
exactly.
it, and
Right?
um. Did you ever play Stardew?
Yes.
Oh, you did.
Yes. I definitely played Stardew. Actually, yeah, I did play quite a bit. And my first actual streaming experience was Stardew. Not on my own stream, but I actually streamed with another streamer who had a YouTube channel and we would play Stardew together. And that would be like my first like streaming experience. But yeah, I played quite a bit um on my own before Animal Crossing. Because yeah, that was before Animal Crossing. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I never played it. I like those old
Really?
pixelated style games because it
Yeah.
brings me to Super Nintendo. I don't know. I never got into it. I never
Yeah,
tried
I
it.
don't know if I
Never
could.
tried it.
Yeah. I think it takes a like it's one of those games where it takes a little bit to get into it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like once you get past kind of like the beginning part and you start
Yeah.
to get to be able to do more stuff, it's a little easier to kind of stick with it.
Right. Now, did you ever play Breath of the Wild?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Oh
you're
yeah.
excited for
Oh,
Tears of the Kingdom?
yes.
I know.
That's how I got my first Switch was I bought it because of
Mm.
Breath of the Wild. So,
I remember the
yeah.
Switch came out, and I think it was this past week was the 1 year anniversary for it. No, not the one
Yeah.
year. Jeez, sorry,
I
the
was gonna say, wait, what? No, 6 year,
6 year
right?
anniversary because it came out right with the Switch. But I remember I didn't have the Switch,
Yep.
so I got it for the Wii U. I was just like, I'll just buy it for I didn't
Oh.
want to spend the money. I was like, I'll just get the Wii U,
Yeah.
and so I actually beat it 100. Well, not Korok seeds. I mean, let's be real
Mm.
100%. But
Yeah,
I played like
that's
300
hard.
hours on my Wii U, and then I got the
Nice.
Switch, and I got the
Yeah.
game again, and
Yep.
100% of it. 100% of it again.
No
Played it all the
way.
way through again, and then I did
Oh,
it again on stream last year. It's a such. I
nice.
want to replay it one more time before the sequel comes out. Just
Me too. Yeah, I feel like it's been so long since I've played it. I want to play it again and just enjoy it, and and then yeah, I'm so ready for the
yeah.
sequel. It's been a long time coming.
Oh, I know 6 years in the making. So hopefully, I
Yeah.
hope it lives up. And I have a
Yeah.
few friends, and they're like, "Oh, I want to know more about it." I'm like, "I want to go in blind. I don't want to know anything." Just
Same.
like Breath of the Wild, I didn't know like I knew of it, but I'm just like, okay, I saw the trailer, it looked cool. We play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the
No, I'd much rather go in blind.
I remember when I played it, and my friend and we both got it, and we were both obviously working full time, but we would get home from
Mhm.
work, and then we would talk on the phone for like 2 hours playing the game and just being like, "Oh, I saw a dragon. What? Where?" And we're
Oh
both
my
trying to
god.
figure out where the other one is on the map, and it felt like being a kid
Yeah.
again. So I'm hoping I can
Right?
just get a little bit of that for the sequel.
I hope so too. Yeah. I'm thinking it's going to be good. Well, we're staying positive.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we can move to some of the final questions here for learn a little
Yeah.
more about you. And one of my favorite things to ask is, do you have a gaming pet peeve?
Mm, it's a tough one. Oh, that's a good question. I think, I mean, since I only really play like online with other people when I'm playing Destiny, and it's
Mhm.
usually people I know, so like my sister and family and stuff. So not too much bothers me, I don't think.
Mhm.
The only thing that probably bothers me the most is like when people like if so for Destiny, for example, you have to work together as a team in a lot of the activities to be able to get through certain encounters and all of that kind of stuff. And I get stressed out and kind of annoyed when other people get frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like if you can just tell like on the mic when people are having a hard time with something and they're getting frustrated and then I'm like, "Oh, well that gets me frustrated too." And I'm like, "It's okay, just calm down. We'll get through it." They take it very seriously.
Yeah, there are the tryhards out there, and
Oh yeah.
one I just thought of for me, for my personal pet peeve, would be it was more when I was a kid and we'd play with neighborhood
Mm.
friends, and if somebody was playing on your console and if they were like eating or had greasy hands, and we get done, and I'd just be like, "You just ruined my controller." That's what just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's I'm an adult. That doesn't really happen now, but
Right. That's a good one though. Like,
yeah.
you're so right.
hmm
Yeah. True.
Um,
Yeah.
so I know we talk
So
about games, and but I know we have other
Mhm.
interests. Uh, if you do read, do you have a favorite book that you would recommend, and maybe the name of it?
I don't read too much these days, honestly, but I mean, I've always liked in the past when I have read like any like mystery thriller kind of books are
Oh,
always
okay.
my favorite. James Patterson is one author that I know that I used to read like all of his books, and they were always really fun. Like, just good mystery kind of thriller kind of
Okay.
stuff. But yeah, that'd be my fave.
All right. And what about a TV show or movie recommendation?
Oh man, everything.
Do you have a recent favorite one
I'm
that you've seen?
I'm such a junkie, like, when it comes to TV. I'm terrible. Um, oh man. I mean, obviously Last of Us right now is probably my top fave. I know we talked a little bit earlier, but it's just so good. The
Right.
story is so good. I mean, the production with the show is so good. I won't obviously go into details because not everyone's seen it, but yeah, that's honestly my favorite right now. And movie's a tough one. I haven't seen, like, movies in a theater in quite some
Really?
time.
Now, are you
Yeah.
the type to prefer seeing in theaters, or do you prefer at home and you don't have to worry about someone kicking your seat or chewing popcorn?
Right. It depends on the movie. Like, Marvel movies for me, like,
Yeah.
when they come out, I gotta see them in the theater,
Right.
right? Like, for me, that's kind of like my thing. We like to go see those. But for the most part, if I can stay home, I'd rather do that.
Right. No, I feel you. That's
Yeah.
the
I
goal.
mean, although we have a theater nearby that's actually really nice. It has like the reclining seats
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So I'm like, okay, movie theaters have gotten a lot better over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
For
No.
sure. A lot
I
better.
think we're gonna go try see Ant-Man this week, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
always, if we don't go to like the IMAX, we'll go to just there's another, like you said, the reclined seats. You can
Yeah.
order whatever food you want, and I'm an
Yes.
old fogey. I'm like, let's go during the day. Let's
I
go
do
to
that too.
the 2 o'clock showing. That's because I know there's nobody
I-
there,
Oh my
and
gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
it's me and Gramps in the back, and we're just
I love it.
me,
That's
me and
the
all the old
best. I mean,
fogies, and
yeah. If you can have the theater more to yourself, why not?
yeah.
You know? Yeah, I'm
I,
with
I
you.
I recline back, and
Yeah.
it's funny because like to me, oh, I know I know I'm adding on to our time now, but for me, the movie talk, the one place we go to, it's like I always like getting a milkshake. I don't know why. Just like this, it's the only time I
Ooh,
get it, but they have a really good like
nice.
Oreo one, and I'm just like every time I go, my better half, she
Yum.
knows. She goes, all right, you're gonna get your Oreo milkshake, and
You have to, right? You have, like, your one thing that you would get,
hmm
for sure. I feel that. Like, I haven't been in forever, but my one thing was always it's the, cookie dough bites.
oh,
I don't know if you've known those at your movie theater, but our movie theater has them frozen, and
oh,
they're, like, d delicious. They're, like, chocolate covered cookie dough bites, and they're just oh my god,
well, we
it's
just
trouble.
recently got a crumble.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
Mhm.
tried it last week. It was pretty good. I don't. I'm not
Was
gonna
it?
go there again for a $6 cookie, whatever price is. But I was like, I gotta go
I
try
mean,
it,
yeah, gotta see
and
what the hype's
gotta see
about.
what the hype's about. But
Yeah,
it
I've
was
never
good.
tried crumble.
It was
Yeah,
good. It was good.
I've heard it's decent, but yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, that's an expensive cookie,
I mean,
so
it's like for a quarter of the price, I can or I can buy a pack, make it at home, have them
yeah,
fresh right there, and I got 10 of them. You know what I mean? Not that it's good for me, but
exactly. Exactly. No, I'm with you
All right, and this
for
one
sure.
sometimes stumps people. But do you have a favorite quote?
Mm.
A,
Oh,
a
I should
mantra.
have researched beforehand, right? No.
It
Um,
could be gaming related. It
well,
could be life. It could be whatever you want.
I do actually have a good one. And it kind of relates back to when my husband and I first started dating. And I still carry it around. It's still in my wallet. He gave me a gift and it had like a little gift card, like a note written on it. And like when we first started dating, we were young and, and he used to just always say, and it always has stuck with me. He would always say, one day at a time. And that's what was written on the card. And like I said, I still have it to this day. It's still in my wallet. It's been there for 12 years at this point. But yeah, so it's just kind of one of those things where you just have to, and I'm bad about it a lot of times. I'm always worried about what's coming and what's
Mhm.
happened, but I try to remember one day at a time, and I think that's a good one.
I love that. I need that. I need that myself.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's
I
hard,
like
right?
that.
It's hard.
It is, yeah, especially nowadays where there's so much going on. You get blinded by all the crazy things that are happening and trends, or just life in general. So that's a good one. I like that a
Exactly.
lot.
It's easy to get caught up in a lot of things. So, yeah, for sure.
Well, Mel, I think sadly this has to come to an end, but I think this was a great episode. If you guys did like this, comment, show some love to Mel, and whether it's in YouTube, Spotify. We're still trying to get on Apple. I don't know why we're not there yet,
Ooh,
but
come on, Apple.
we'll
Let's
be we'll
go.
be, we'll be there soon. Thank you, Mel, for being on, and hope you have a
Yeah,
great rest of your day. And
thank you.
if
It
you
was a
guys
lot of
don't
fun.
follow her already, we're gonna put all of her links in the description, and we'll flash it on the screen throughout the video as well.
Nice.
Have a good one. It was good talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep, thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.